You know shit about boxing.
Hi guys, and welcome to the latest edition of You Don't Know Shit About Boxing. I'm joined as ever by my superb co-host, Miss Georgia Banks.
Afternoon. It feels like it's been a while, to be honest. Depends what time you're watching it, I guess.
Evening all. We're going to be talking about the Glamour Division, the heavyweight division, on this week's episode. But before we do, we have a very special guest from Punch London. He's an ex-boxer, top trainer, heavyweight specialist, Mr. Don Charles.
Thank you.
Charles.
Were you meant to do that?
Yeah. I had to add the extra Diamante echo at the end.
I'm just sat there looking at him thinking...
Thank you for that introduction.
Great to see you, Don.
Welcome.
Oh, he just pied me. We started. I've been pied already. Great to see you, Don.
Nice to see you.
Brilliant.
To see you.
darling.
Nice.
Don, how's everything going? Busy gym?
Yeah, everything's good in my personal life, and the gym, that's my life. The gym is my life. Gym life. Pug life.
Pug life.
Yeah.
I'm representing.
Brilliant. Who have you got in the gym at the moment that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I've got, various fighters, heavyweights. I've got...
Your own son included?
Yeah, George. Got cruiserweights.
Yeah, you can't leave him out. He'd be upset.
Absolutely. And also I have... other trainers who are based in Pug Gym who, again, training them with a stable of fighters.
What have you got against the smaller guys, Don?
I don't personally have anything. It's just the heavyweights all seems to find me, and I find them. I'm a heavyweight myself, as you know, so, yeah, I do. It's almost like you go to mastermind the program and you have your general questions, but there's always a subject you specialize in. I'm a general guy, but I specialize in heavyweights. That's my chosen subject.
Why is that? Is that because you're a heavyweight yourself?
Maybe that has a lot to do with it. And it's just one of those things. It's not something I set out when I became a coach to do. It's just something that happened. Also, coincidentally, my first ever fighter whom I'm known for training is Dereck, who happens to be a heavyweight. So, yeah.
And in terms of any heavyweight you could have had to kind of break you into the business, Chisora is a very complex character, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an enigma. He's a very complex character, yeah.
Do you see yourself as a complex character also? Is there kind of when you first met and got used to each other? Was it?
I'm not everybody's cup of tea, Marmite. I say it how it is. I'm a very strong personality, and you need sometimes having that stern firmness. You need it around certain fighters, such as someone like Dereck Chisora. That, you have to be very, very strong character around this type of individuals.
And we mentioned your son, George Fox. You're obviously working with him at the moment. Also, Harry Armstrong, I believe.
That's correct, the heavyweights.
Tell us a little bit about those two guys, what stage they're at in their professional journeys.
They're very embryonic stage of their careers. Harry has 4 fights unbeaten. George has 5 fights with 1 loss. I won't go into details why that loss. Not making excuses, but
it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah. We were. In my opinion, we didn't actually lose the fight. Okay, we gave the referee an excuse to do what he did, which was wrong. It was 8-rounder. It was the first 8-rounder for George, and I believe we won the first 4 rounds. And the last 4 rounds, we managed them. I'll give Sokolowski for his efforts. He was throwing some heavy shots towards round 6, 7, 8. Single shots, not to the degree, unless you knock the person out, you've won. He didn't do enough to win, to get awarded the fight, but it happens. You learn from it, and we've had our chat, me and George, whether he's my son or not. When a fighter loses, you have post-fight thing.
Albeit to clarify, he is your son.
Yes, he is my son.
Just in case he's watching, he's a bit worried there's some revelation.
No, he's my son. And Harry Armstrong, like I said, he's had 4 fights, 4 wins. And he's a prospect, and he's a kind of we call him the dark horse in the gym, Harry Armstrong, because he's a very silent operator, he's very quiet, doesn't say much. We've had him on, actually.
Yeah. We've had both of them on, haven't we? George as well.
He's very, very silent, Harry, and he's going to do things in the heavyweight division. He's coming silently. His time will come.
Is George still looking to right that wrong?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, gosh, even, again, I have to, obviously there's the father, me being his father. So it's very difficult sometimes when I'm asked a question about him. We've spoken. Him as a person, him as a fighter, he knows he has to go and right that wrong. Whether it's a rematch straight away or somewhere along the line to say, I had COVID, double COVID. I shouldn't have gone into my first 8-rounder. I thought I had enough gas, but when he went to tap into there was nothing there to conclude the fight.
Was that a battle between the two of you, whether he should actually take part in the fight?
Yeah. We were in Spain at the time. I was training, working with a cruiserweight world champion called Alison Gulmerian.
WBA champion, isn't he?
WBA super champion.
Super champion, sorry.
And
God, Danny.
Got told off.
George fell ill. We didn't know what it was initially. Then it turns out he had COVID. And he flew back to London. And then 2 weeks later, Xavier Miller took over to work with him whilst he came back to London. And they called me and he said, he's sparring well. I said, look, he said, your first 8-rounder. He said, Dad, I've got enough skill to manage this guy. I want to do it. And when the fighter wants to do it, flew back to England and we did the fight. Like I said, you can go and watch the fight. I'll challenge anyone to sit down and I'll break it down how we didn't lose the fight. Not because he's my son, not because he's my fighter, but we will. Things happen for reasons. For whatever reason will reveal itself later on along his career.
Well, George's best years are certainly in front of him. And as we go on, this week's topic is the heavyweight division, the Glamour Division, if you like. And we've got a thriving heavyweight scene at the moment. Georgia, who or what fight or which fighter in the heavyweight division are you most excited about at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, I'm probably going to get slated for saying this. I'm not excited about Joyce at the minute.
You're not, or you are?
No.
Okay.
Against Dubois, yes, I was initially, but I feel like with Sky, with AJ, they kind of built him up to be a poster boy and kind of somebody that they wanted him to look like and perceived, and that's kind of come around to bite him in the bum, essentially. I feel like Joyce could do that little bit of building, but just not too much to make people excited about him. I don't really. I don't know how to say it nicely.
Don't say it. Say it not nicely.
Just say how it is.
No holds barred. Yeah.
Say how it is.
There's just. I need a minute to think about that.
While you're having your minute,
Thank you.
Joyce obviously beat Christian Hammer most recently. A bit of a disappointing opponent choice for me, but what do you make of Joyce and his potential to ascend to that top table of heavyweights?
Right. As a coach, right, I've got to remind the audience that, and yourselves here, this Joyce made his professional debut against a boxer that I trained.
Ian Lewison.
Yes. Right. When that fight was made, Joyce was with a haymaker. And I accused David Hay publicly. I said, you must be drinking some alcohol to make Joyce, the Olympic silver medalist. He should have won gold, by the way, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, to match him up for his debut against Ian Lewison, who's a renowned puncher. Okay, and over 10 rounds. His first professional debut was over 10 rounds. Yeah, and I had to pull my guy out after 8 rounds. Yeah, I didn't believe, based on what you said literally a couple of minutes ago about Joyce. Yes, to the eye, thinking how does this guy win? And when that fight was made, I looked at the bookies' odds. I thought, what? Am I missing something here? And they were right. I was wrong. In front of me, I had to pull my guy out. Yeah, it doesn't look to the eye like this guy, in terms of boxing technique, is not pretty to the eye, but he's very effective. Very effective. So I think, and also I know him as a person, Joe, and he's the nicest. I
think that's what it is.
Nicest person.
So like nice players.
Nicest guy you could be in this room with, if he was here with us. And phenomenal engine, work rate, heavy-handed in both hands. And it doesn't surprise me where he is today and what he's doing today, because I actually get the privilege to a few of my guys like George, for instance, and Harry Armstrong on numerous rounds with Joe sparring. So I've got to get an insight of what this guy does. And it doesn't look to the eye. I think how? And his ability to take punches, I've never seen anything like it. It's unreal.
Do you think that will not have a hindrance in the near future, though, with his resistance?
I don't know about in the near future, but I think obviously that has to be addressed, because
Can't just
the way you
like
take, because based on your bone density, apparently his bone density is bigger than heavier than yours and anyone sitting here, but you've got to address that issue, because I think when the levels go up, I'm afraid you can't, certain characters in the top tier, you can't give them free shots like that. No.
So George, are you converted or still hate Joe Joyce?
No, I don't hate Joe Joyce. It's not his fighting ability. It was just more his, as a person, he doesn't excite me.
Fair enough.
That makes sense.
That's all right. It's a broad church. There's someone for everyone. You mentioned Anthony Joshua there. He's obviously got arguably the biggest fight of his career coming up next month out in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, against Oleksandr Usyk. Don, from your point of view, what does he need to do to get a different result this time around? He's made changes to his team, but in terms of the approach, what does he need to change?
Wow, it's a hard one, I'll be honest with you. I've looked at it from a coach's point of view. If I were coaching Anthony for this rematch, what would I do? What would the game plan be? There's so many issues, being Europe against an elite athlete in the name of Usyk, a guy whose boxing IQ is second to none, and he's a southpaw. Yeah, not just a basic. He's quite an exciting, unpredictable southpaw. So what does Joshua have to do to win this fight? What he did from the first fight. They say fighter boxer and boxer fighter. So he has to really adopt that, in the sense that don't try. And up to a certain degree, he has to do some boxing. Yeah. It's called boxing. He has to, technically, he's got all the tools. He's got all very textbook Joshua, very, very textbook Anthony Joshua, his boxing style. He has to box him in parts, but in most case of duration of that fight him, turn it into a fight. If I could give you, again, Dereck's name keeps coming up, but it's a prime example of how to fight Usyk. Dereck Chisora, in the first 4 rounds of his fight against Usyk, he saw what he did. Usyk didn't know what was happening to him. At one point, Dereck had him in a clinch, and Usyk was looking to his corner. What's going on? What do I do here? Yeah? And that's what Anthony Joshua has to use his physicality. He has to turn into a physical fight. Yeah? To take Usyk out of that zone of being all neat. Everything refined. Anthony has to, and it's there. We know it's that Anthony has got that. He's got that dog in him. He has to release that dog in him, turn it into a fight. Yeah, a physical fight. After all, when you take away all the trimmings of boxing, it's a fight. Yeah, so he has to really draw into that, turn it into a fight. Literally use that physicality. He's got a tremendous jab, Anthony. Yeah. Don't single jab him, because he's a counter puncher. Double jab him, and then tie him up, push him up, bully him. I hate talking like this, but it's the truth. From a coach's point of view, if I was training him to deal with it, you have to turn into a bully. Even if you're not a bully by nature, turn into a bully for 12 rounds if it lasts that. Because I really believe if Anthony adopts that attitude, yeah, take a chance. Take a chance, yeah? Go to him, step to him, manhandle him. I think he'll probably get rid of Usyk there. Because Anthony mid-range is very dangerous. Yeah? Yeah? He's very, very dangerous. All his fights he's won. When he gets when he opens up, he's probably one of the most, in terms of putting combinations together. Anthony puts combinations together in the same speed as a middleweight. Rapid, precise punches when he has to get into that range to do that.
Now, one man sitting back watching it all unfold, one of many, obviously, will be Tyson Fury. you've opposed him on a number of occasions. I think someone showed me a video on Twitter yesterday of you threatening to fill him in at one point early in his career.
Correct. And again, people might laugh at this. This is the mentality I have as a person through my background, my upbringing. Every human being breathes oxygen. That's what we operate on, and we bleed red blood. I don't care how size you are. If you try and bully me, you're picking on the wrong guy. When that incident happened, I remember it very well. You're not going to bully me. After all, like I said, when you take away all the dressings, the 10-ounce gloves and all the dressings, it's a fight, right? Yeah. If I met Tyson Fury in the street and he wronged me for whatever, right, and it turned out where we're going to fight each other, guess what? Let's forget his name, Tyson Fury. He's an extraordinary heavyweight boxer. It's a fight. We're going to fight. May the best man win. That's my attitude. And I install that into my fighters. I'm giving away my secrets. You drew it out of me again, Dan. Yeah.
You'll be charging us for that.
Do you expect to see Tyson Fury in a boxing ring again?
Yes.
You don't think he can leave it all behind?
No.
Why not? Would you?
Because I could see where he's saying this is it. Yeah. But he's a very clever human being, Tyson Fury. We've all got our favorite musical bands you go to watch on stage, yeah? Mm-hmm. When the band finishes, your favorite band, they leave the stage, what do you shout for?
Encore.
More, yeah? He's doing that to the audience. He's smart.
He's building that hunger.
Yeah. Human beings, our psychology, we always want what we can't have, yeah? He's teasing us. Up to a certain degree, there's a part of him I should imagine, I've achieved everything. Mm-hmm. I've achieved everything. I've got money. I've got fame. Yeah? I'm a character. He can go into anything away from boxing. He can go into movies. He's probably thinking like that. He's got children to raise. He has nothing else to prove, in my opinion, to myself or to you. If Tyson Fury retires tomorrow, he'll go down as one of the greats, in my opinion. 100%. So sometimes he might wake up and thinking, you know what? That's it. I don't want any more of this. Being away from the family and stuff like that. And some days he'll wake up, he'll miss, which every boxer suffers from, the adulation, being spoken about, being relevant. You know what I'm saying? So he too is a human being. He will be also, no, I need to come back for one more time. Yeah. And I think he'll be where he's sitting now. He'll be waiting to see the outcome, obviously, of AJ, irrespective of who wins, AJ or Usyk. He will fancy and to have a go.
Now, Don is always invited to our top table, but what about the top table of the heavyweight division? For his heavyweight top 5, we're going to go over to Lean Josh Green over in the green room.
Thank you very much, guys, and welcome back to the green room. Today, Danny Flexen has given me the enviable task of naming my top 5 heavyweights in the world today. And it's taken some thinking, but I've got it down to 5 names, and we do have to go, unfortunately, through some honourable mentions, the likes of Michael Hunter, Andy Ruiz, and obviously Filip Hrgović as well, a man that in 12 months, 24 months' time definitely will be in that top 5 in the world. But I am going to go for Joe Joyce. I think that performance against Daniel Dubois 18 months, a couple of years ago now, has really tipped the scales in his favour. A superb performance, a highlight reel really for him. And the sheer dominance of the performance against an up-and-comer who was really expected to do the business, and now has put Joyce in that slot for a shot at the title and possibly a shot at Anthony Joshua or Oleksandr Usyk. In 4th, I've gone for Deontay Wilder. Despite those losses to Tyson Fury and the draw, obviously, as well, Deontay Wilder still is an absolutely world-class heavyweight. And I think many of the up-and-coming names and some of the names I mentioned in the honourable mentions, they would have some serious problems if they came up against Deontay Wilder. And I think with a couple of fights under his belt, rather, he could be in a position to challenge for a world title once again. Hopefully not against Tyson Fury, though. Up into 3rd, and it's Anthony Joshua. Obviously, the defeats have harmed him quite a lot in terms of the rankings that people look at for the heavyweight division. And although a win against Usyk would propel him back up into the top 1 or 2, you would say for some people, he's still got a long way to go, and he has taken 2 defeats, 2 surprising defeats to some people. Obviously, Andy Ruiz came right out of nowhere, and some people were predicting the Usyk fight. He now goes in as second favourite in the rematch. It's very hard to place him in the top 3, but especially if he was to get the win over Usyk in a few weeks' time. Moving on to number 2, and it is Oleksandr Usyk. He's taken the step up to heavyweight like a duck to water and has really, really shown the British public and the world what he is capable of. Many people expect him to get that win over AJ in the rematch, and then where next for Oleksandr Usyk? Possibly the Tyson Fury match, and possibly one of the up-and-coming contenders. But either way, Oleksandr Usyk is one of the best heavyweights in the world today. And then number 1, Tyson Fury. Retired or not retired, I think it's difficult to argue against the fact that Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world today. Incredible power, incredible movement for a big man. Tyson Fury has done it all. He's got those victories against Wilder under his belt. We are still holding on to the hope that he may face AJ or even Usyk later on in his career, even if it is going to take that 500 million to tempt him back into the ring. But I have to say Tyson Fury does top the list for me. But let us know down below who you would have in your top 5. Back to Danny and Georgia.
Cheers, Josh. Yeah, interesting. I kind of agree, I think, with most of that.
Yeah, I think so.
Fun fact, Michael Hunter was the first ever boxer I ever met.
Wow.
And then John Ryder was second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have they both been robbed in big fights? I think they might have. Maybe you're a jinx.
Ryder, definitely.
Oh, don't pin that on me.
Yeah, you're a jinx. Loads of big heavyweight fights coming up. One this weekend that, Don, you will have a special connection to because it is the guy you came up with. Sure. Dereck Chisora going in again against Kubrat Pulev. First fight out in Bulgaria. You weren't in the corner.
No, it wasn't. It's one of the times he was absent from me, yeah.
How did you kind of feel? Because you said earlier you don't like to watch him when he's not with you, but how did you feel knowing he was taking on such a big task, fighting someone as quality of Pulev in his backyard, but without you by his side?
Yeah, listen, stylistically, he's all wrong for a lot of people. Dereck Chisora, that is. And I truly believed, even in my absence, when he fought Pulev, I thought he had stylistically enough to beat Pulev. But I believe watching it back then, it's been a few years ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
I think so now,
It might even be 6.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. And he fought the wrong fight in many parts of the fight. Dereck Chisora is a front foot fighter, and in that fight, in the duration of that fight, I would say 60% of the time he boxed on the back foot, which I didn't understand why. Hence, and Pulev only just won it as well. Without Chisora pressing him, I think he won it. The decision, a couple of rounds, it was a close fight. So, yeah.
Going into the rematch, and even before the fight was announced, there's been a lot of conjecture over whether Dereck Chisora should still be fighting. I can understand why. The public adore him and are quite protective of him. He's been in a lot of tough fights, grueling fights.
Yes, he has, yeah.
He's given a lot of other heavyweights hell as well. It's not just him that's taken those miles on the clock,
Sure.
but he's become synonymous with war. It's his nickname now. Should he still be fighting, in your view?
Well, everyone can't be wrong, I have to. I mean, I love the kid, he's my fighter. He brought me into the industry. The name I have today is purely by working with a character like him. So I'm always emotionally involved with him. He's absent, from me. As you know, he's left me twice now. He left when we lost to Dillian Whyte the second time. I believe we won the first fight against Dillian.
And he was winning the second fight.
He was winning the second fight in round 11 with the referee's interruptions, and, Dereck lost his concentration and his shape and presented Dillian Whyte with his bingo shot on a plate with a knife and fork and a napkin. That's how we describe it, because we drilled, and before going into that preparation for that fight, we drilled and drilled and drilled. we can't get hit by Dillian Whyte's left hook. And what shot did we get knocked out by? A left hook. To a coach, that's very devastating. Yeah.
So should he still be fighting, I guess is the key point people
again, we will see from what happens on Saturday, isn't it, the fight?
Yeah.
So we will see. I'm hearing all sorts of rumors that he's trained himself for this fight.
Wow.
You know, I know last time, I think Dave Caldwell,
yeah.
I know Buddy McGurr has also trained him for the Usyk fight? Not sure. So it'd be interesting to see who's in the corner on the day. I hope that they've watched the last fight against Pulev to be able to make those adjustments to, like I said, he's a pressure fighter, but calculated pressure to put Pulev on his back foot for the most duration. And I believe he'll grind that. Depending on what Chisora, like everyone, the general consensus is that he should retire, shouldn't fight anymore. The public adore this character, you know, and it's for his safety they're saying that. So it'll be interesting to see. I too will be watching to see what version, if he's finished. Because I was promised him when we first started our journey. I said, come the day that I believe that you should hang your gloves up, I'll be the first. I'm close with his family, his mother. I'll be the first to call his mum, say he's not boxing anymore, whether I'm training him or not. I'm not training him at the moment, obviously, because we parted since the Dillian Whyte's fight. So I will make that call, yeah. We'll still speak. We're not. We still speak. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't seen this yet. So.
No.
I'm sure he'll still be fine. Things have got a bit spicy in the build-up between Chisora and Pulev this time around. Matchroom caught a lot of this in their face-off show, chaired by one Eddie Hearn, doing the role formerly occupied by Johnny Nelson on Sky, and with aplomb, I must say. We want to thank Matchroom for letting us use the following footage.
Yeah, we have one small history, you know, and in this you can just delete this, you know. I mean, he was in best form that time, and I was in my best form too, and he tried to make everything in the ring, everything. He give his best.
His best is not good enough?
His best is not good enough against me. He's good fighter, no question. But what is different now?
Derek, you were quite clear at the press conference about winning this fight by stoppage. Is that the intentions
100%.
you have in this fight?
100%. I'm going to stop him, yeah.
Derek, you smoke joint?
I'm going to knock you out, though.
I tell you already, it's not good to talk just...
No, man, I'm not just talking, man. I'm just saying it. I'm telling you.
And last time you said same thing.
I'm telling you, man.
Same thing. You don't change nothing.
I don't change nothing. Exactly. That's the whole name.
You make now your last fight was a rematch, and same thing with first fight. Do you understand me?
Mate, all I'm saying, I'm going to knock you out. I lost a fight when was it, in December? I was on the blow team. Listen, I want to fight in the summer. Get me the biggest fight out there. We had the Polish dude.
Okay,
yeah,
I understand you. I understand you, but you think this is smart?
No.
Is this smart?
It's called entertainment. What is smart? It's called entertainment. I'm in this game to entertain, bro. I'm not in this game to be smart. Do you understand? Because the time is running out for people like us. So for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight this guy, yeah, and then fight him, and then fight him, it's a waste of time, bro. I can't wake up and train for that, bro. I can't wake up and train for that. For you now, I can wake up and go and train hard. But really and truly, if I have to spy just some schmuck somewhere, I won't be able to train. You know, it's like, basically, it's like this, yeah. You got Miss Universe there, yeah? And you got some Timbuktu chick somewhere, fat, smelly pussy. Which one would you go for? Would you rather wake up for and get hard on for? I'm getting my hard on for you. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So you have to understand, now I am gonna come, vicious, mate. I'm gonna come. The same way I came on the first time, second time, for all my fights, I'm gonna come.
To the end.
It don't matter, but I'm gonna come, I'm gonna be there.
Good.
Yeah?
Good. That's why I respect.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's
but I'm gonna
respect.
come, I'm gonna roll the dice and just go for it, man.
Motivation, you see?
Thanks again to the Matchroom guys for the footage. Yeah, Dereck Chisora in typically provocative form.
Wow.
It's kind of encouraging though, because people are saying, does he still want this? Should he still be around boxing? I mean, clearly the spirit's still there.
Oh, most definitely, that's not going to go away. I mean, wow. I'll be quite frank with you. That's the first time I've heard about it. I've seen little snippets, but that's the first time I've seen it in its full content. Because I wondered in what context was it said. Now I've seen the whole footage. Yeah, well, all I can say is, wow. What do you think?
It makes me feel a bit
From a lady's
uncomfortable, being honest.
Exactly.
But Dereck is an entertainer, if above anything else, I think. My favourite quote of his, though, is the laxative one. He's
that's a classic.
I often use that
Go
one.
through
Yeah,
like
I'm
a
gonna go through.
laxative.
Yeah, it comes.
You
up
often
with-
use that one, did
Oh,
you
do
say?
you?
Wait, not.
Well, you trash
what
talking people at the
context?
gym or...
In what context?
I just.
Now you're
say
making
it.
us feel uncomfortable.
Sorry, guys. But it's more. To be honest, it's more Dillian's face afterwards, and he's like, "Huh?" It's a bit of a weird
Yeah.
analogy.
Yeah.
I quite like Who's the Donkey Now.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's on the
that's him
same
and
thing
Dylan.
on
That's
the
it.
Gloves Are Off.
That's him and Dylan, classics. I mean, over the years when I was with him, this guy, you're looking at whether you love him, hate him, Dereck Chisora, there's a genius living inside that mind. He comes up with really weird sayings like the one. Does he go to bed and think about this thing? Who knows? Yeah. But there's a genius living in there. Yeah. I'll give you one. Do we have time for this?
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Of
I'll give you one in particular that will always be with me. Yeah. We went to Germany to fight Vitaly Klitschko, the most feared man heavyweight at the time. All right. We went to the public workout. Okay. It was in the Mercedes head office or something, showroom. It was on 2 levels, ground floor, and there was a first floor, which was a balcony. The place was full, at least 1,000 or so, 1,200 German fans, Klitschko fans, yeah? So the ring was in the center for the public workout. We've got in to do our public workout. We've done our thing, pads and da-da-da. It's question time. So one of the audience, who's a Klitschko fan, had a question for Dereck Chisora. So they gave the microphone to the fan. The fan said, "Oh, Dereck, you say you dreamed in your dream. You had a dream that he's going to knock out Vitaly. Yeah, a man nobody's actually won a round off of. Never mind beating him and knocking him out. Oh, so Dereck, I'm trying to do an accent here, by the way. So Dereck, you say in your dream you saw that you knocked Vitaly out. You're just dreaming, yeah? Okay, so remember, we're in Germany. This is a kid now who's about to, like I said, challenge for the WBC title. And now, even me, who I consider myself a very smart guy, I'm quick, I couldn't think of the answer like that. And a person says to you, you're just a dreamer, just dreaming. There he goes, you know what, my friend? Yes, I'm a dreamer. And he looked around, he goes, look, how many people in here? So every one of us in here, we all dream. Because that's what makes us human. That's what keeps us going. Anybody who hasn't got a dream, you haven't got a life. And you know what? There's 1,200 people in there. They all applauded him from that answer. Remember, he's the not the home fighter. He had no fans there, just his team. And now the genius of it is that I would have been stumped. I was yeah. But he came up with that instantaneously, like that. So there's moments he's shown me. There's so many other examples, but that's the one that really sticks in my mind. At the speed he took that question, at the speed he came up with a brilliant answer, and he had 1,200 German fans, Klitschko fans, in his pocket. They applauded him.
That's great stuff.
So, yeah, I actually getting
Good
emotional. Yeah. Because I was there, when you're there, for that moment, because, the fight is not just won in the ring. Of course, you get in the ring and fight, but preliminaries, the lead-ups is all so important. That moment gave us, me, the team, him, the fighter, so much confidence from that one answer. So, yeah, so he does come up with mad things, but there's a genius also living in there.
When, obviously he's very animated coming up to fights, is he like that all the time?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That must be tough.
Yeah,
to
I
be
told
around.
you, he's a very complex individual. Like I said, through all the madness, why do I put up with it? Because he's the fighter, or why have I put up with it? He's the fighter you want to go to war with. But coincidentally, that's what I have to credit David Hay, because he came up, I believe he came up with the war, Chisora. Okay.
Oh, did you say something nice about David Hay?
Yes.
You okay?
I'm very
Did it
well.
hurt?
No, I speak the truth, nothing but the truth. That's me. Yeah.
Good stuff. Now, there's a general consensus, it seems, amongst boxing fans at the moment of the top 4 in the heavyweight division. Indeed, it matches Josh Green's top 4 from earlier in Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder. But who should get that elusive final spot in the top 5? We all have different opinions, so we put it out to our social media followers, and I think Georgia's got some of the better responses.
Yes, so we got 59% for Joe Joyce,
Okay.
16% for Dillian White, 13% for Philip Hrgovic, and 13% other. The others included Luis Ortiz, Otto Wallin, because he's a Viking that crushed Fury. Not my words. White is probably done, but considering he is the only proven one and the only one to ever beat a top 10 opponent, then he takes the top 5 spot without question. Parker, Ruiz, Helenas, and a few others deserve to be above Joyce and Hrgovic.
Who said that?
DRP 9618.
All right, yeah. It's clearly a birth.
Sounds like a character out of Star Wars.
I'm not sure about Helenas, to be honest.
Yeah, that stood out to me as well,
Yeah,
the Hellenius one.
'cause-
I thought he was a valid point for the others, though.
Yeah, his last fight, I think I watched it with you, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us were particularly
Well,
impressed.
Kaunaki, if he beat Kaunaki, or Konaki, however you pronounce it, he's had 2 back-to-back victories against the heavyweight.
Yeah,
Kaunaki,
but then
that
makes me question how good he was rather than how good Hellenius is.
Exactly, yeah.
And then we've got Andy Ruiz, which I'm quite excited to see him back, actually, because he looks
It's been a while.
It has been a while, but
He had that really boring fight, didn't he?
Against Areola.
Yeah.
And the weight loss affected him, in my opinion, because he's used to being that heavy. Then suddenly he's light, and he went down, I think, twice in that fight, and he managed to grind out a points win.
We've got Bakade Jalalov. Did I say
Close
that?
enough.
Jalalov.
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 Yeah.
Is heir to the heavyweight throne. In 18 months, he wipes out the whole division.
Okay.
He looked incredibly impressive at the
Yeah.
Olympics, but we shall see.
He's quite young, though, isn't he? Is he like 25?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, which
about
is
that.
young for a heavyweight. Yeah.
So he's younger
they
than me,
don't
so
come
I'm
into
saying
the-
it's
But he'd already had a number of pro fights, then went
Yeah.
to the Olympics,
Yeah.
cleaned up there. It was good.
Oh, God, you're really testing me today, aren't you?
Go on.
Makhmudov?
Yep.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, yeah.
Makhmudov.
Fantastic.
Is that the one with the gif of the Hulk?
Yes, but because it's a screenshot, it's just a still picture, so you can't actually see what
Oh,
it is.
never mind.
And Martin Bacoli.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who put Maya Bacoli?
Gary Nelson.
Yeah, but can I say something? I will put him well up there. He's only had one drawback, which against Michael Hunter. Yeah, I'll put him up there because, again, he's under the radar, Michael Bacoli. Yeah. Had he not had that little setback, which is rectified since then, he's one for the future. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Now, Don, it's time to put you under the spotlight. We've got a few questions for you. You just get these up.
Good old Andy White. Can
You
always count on Andy.
Always rely on Andy White, yeah.
We should get him on.
Maybe. It was a quiet week. So, yeah, let's start with Andy White. Why did you split with Chisora? It's gone straight in there.
It's quite simple. I shoot from the hip in the sense that, my policy is that as a coach, we train together, we win together, and we lose together. But unfortunately, in some cases, whenever we have lost a fight, I've been made the scapegoat. And yeah, that's basically what happened. And this time, Mr. David Hay was involved. We lost the fight, and I was told I was no longer needed. No explanations. Normally, we sit round the table when we win, say we won. Brilliant. We also made mistakes. Even when you win, you made mistakes. But when we lose, we should also sit around the table and say, Why did we lose? And for this reason, coach, we no longer need you and we're going to seek another coach. Nothing happened. So I still hold, I don't like grudges. I still hold that on Hay. He instigated it, and I hold it on the fighter as well. The fighter has a right to say, no, I'm not getting rid of my coach. So, yeah, it's something that is unfinished business, in my opinion.
Criticising David Hay. The universe is right again.
It's not criticising. It's a fact. I said the facts. I mean, come on, the truth. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth of people. I'm going to sit here and pretend. No, I'm not a pretender. I'm an honest guy. You ask me a question and I answer you truthfully what my opinion. That's how it is.
Well, you'd appreciate Andy's follow-up question. Did you ever get even with David Hay?
No, I did not. But I'm a firm believer in the universe. The universe will pay him back for all the things he's done towards me. Yeah. As I sit here, I haven't publicly revealed this ever, I don't believe. I may have 10 years ago. That man split my lip and I'm still having surgery in my teeth to reconstruct my teeth. He punched me in Munich, okay, during the famous or infamous brawl. Yeah. After Dereck had just had a 12 grueling hard rounds with Vitaly Klitschko. They got into a confrontation. He hit Dereck. I stepped over Dereck to say, what are you doing to David Hay? He, to my surprise, vicious left hook. I've developed a lisp. I wasn't born with a lisp. I now speak with a lisp because the works I've had done to my teeth to reconstruct. Yeah. Now, if you're fighting a person, you will brace yourself or you get hit. I was not fighting this man. He took a swing at me. If you can go and watch the videos on YouTube, I ran after him and we tussled. He broke free and grabbed a big camera tripod. How the hell he lifted it? It was one of those industrial heavy. Swung at me. Adam Booth pushed me. Adam had his back to David Hay. He pushed me on the chest. Luckily for me, I dived out of the way. He hit Adam on the head. You can see it on YouTube and cracked his head. And this man, how he can glorify, and I'm not taking anywhere away from him, he's an exceptional athlete, exceptional fighter. What he achieved in the boxing is unimaginable. He did, successful. But as a person, no, he's not my kind of guy.
Fair enough. Biggest regret and biggest achievement in boxing?
Biggest regret? I don't have any. I don't. I've had ups and downs as a coach. If God, my maker, our maker, said to me, I'm going to put you into this situation, you're going to succeed, but along the way, you're going to have the shortfallings. Will I take it? I'll grow another pair of arms and grab it. And the biggest achievement is, there's a few. One of them is getting Frank Bullion in my light heavyweight to beat Jose Burton when we're not supposed to have won. In the 12 rounds, straight out of Rocky, we needed a stoppage to win. We were down on the cards and the universe came to our rescue and he stopped. And that's probably still is my biggest moment, should I say. I've achieved big things, but that moment, I can't describe it.
We're big fans of Frank Bullioni, even though he turned down the chance to appear on this podcast.
Terrible behavior.
He's too busy post-boxing. He's doing really well.
He will be here.
Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
Tell him.
He will be here. Yeah, I didn't know this.
No.
Frankie!
I think he's just very, very busy with his life outside boxing. I'm only messing about.
Yeah.
Daniel Allen says, who is the toughest opponent you've had to prepare a game plan for?
Mr. Fury. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm a big fan of this guy. I had to become a fan. I conceded after the second Chisora fight against Tyson Fury. Even as soon as the fight finished, I pulled Dereck out. Round 10, I pulled him out. And I said to Peter Fury, because Peter was training Tyson at the time, I said, you know what? And to Mick Hennessy, I said, I'm now a fan. I'm a believer. Because I didn't believe that. Because the first time we fought him, Dereck shouldn't have been in the boxing ring. I won't go into details. He shouldn't be in that ring that night. We lost our first ever loss we had was against Tyson Fury. Yeah, we lost our British and Commonwealth title. We went away, regrouped, won the European title, which Tyson never fought for. He came, guess what, and relieved us of the European title as well. Yeah? And after that, and the winner went on to fight Vladimir Klitschko for the world title. Yeah? So that's when I conceded. And yes, he's miles ahead of everybody.
I think I can speak for everyone in attendance on that night at the XL Arena. We wished you'd have pulled him out earlier so we could have gone home.
Yeah, you always think,
horrible night.
especially with the heavyweights, you're always thinking that one punch can change it, because what was unfolding in front of us was unbelievable. Dereck Chisora was in the best physical shape, mental place. He was in a good place. He was knocking at people for fun. I won't say the names, in sparring, in preparation for the Fury fight. Yeah? Dereck Chisora never does this. He sat us all down after one session. He said, guys, I just want you to know, I've got this. I've got this. Guy cannot beat me. And Tyson Fury made us look very ordinary that night. So, Mr. Fury, if you're watching, I salute you again. And yes, it hurts to lose, but when you lose to a man who then, justification, look what he's gone on and done. So that kind of, if there's any justification, we got beaten by a very special man, very special boxer. And I'm a fan.
Now the final one is from I Am Stephen. He says, what's the best sparring session you've seen live?
Again, you get to see your own. Dereck Chisora against Brian Jennings in my gym. Yeah, I think they actually put a footage of it. It went online, it went viral.
Oh, I remember. So this was when Jennings was preparing for Joyce.
Correct, yeah. And we were preparing for Takam, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, and my goodness, I've never seen anything like it. You'd pay a lot of money to watch that spar. And it wasn't just a one-off. Every session they did was like that.
Wow. Great stuff. Very, very insightful. Now, when we come back, Don will be taking on a different line of questioning as Miss Georgia Banks leads him to the hot seat.
So the worst people in the world are people who are on the phone the entire gym session, or people who spar like they're competing and injure others.
People who are on the phone, of course.
People who put clips on Smith machines, or people that don't wash their wraps.
People who don't wash their wraps.
People who are overly cheesy on social media, or people who don't put their weights back in the gym.
People who don't put their weights back in the gym.
People who cheat workouts, circuits and sprints, or cyclists riding two abreast on a country lane.
Oh. Cyclists.
Everybody says cyclist.
Because it's very dangerous.
True. People who kiss their dog on the mouth, or people who eat with their mouths open.
People who kiss their dogs on the mouth.
People who leave their rubbish all over the gym, or people who want to have a full-blown conversation with you before 9 o'clock in the morning.
People who leave their rubbish.
People who chew really loudly in your ear, or people who kick the spit bucket in the gym and stir up the smell.
Ooh, interesting. Spit bucket.
People that phlegm in the sink and don't wash it away, or drivers that don't wave thank you when you let them out.
Phlegm in the sink and don't wash it.
If you could change one thing about boxing, what would it be?
Basically to make the right boxer, if you've won, you should be declared the winner.
And lastly, Chisora or Pulev, who wins?
Joshua, Anthony.
Knew that was coming.
Well, that was absolutely scorching. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe. We're obviously on YouTube and all the major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don, really appreciate you being here. It's been an education.
My pleasure.
It's always nice to have you, isn't it?
So thanks very much, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yo, Danny Flexen here. Think you know shit about boxing? There's only one way to find out.
Listen to the full podcast via one of the links in the description or go to secondsoutboxing.podbean.com.
You know shit about boxing.